In Australia, there's a place called Fraser Island. It is the biggest sand island on the face of the planet. It is enormous. It takes hours and hours and hours to drive around this island. It is so huge. It's about half a kilometre off the Australian mainland. You have to take a very large, heavy-duty ferry to get there. Half a kilometre separating from the mainland with a significant rip, tide, ocean running between it and the mainland. Now Fraser Island recently had a name change. See, what happens in Australia is we can't keep the names that we gave to anything anymore. Everything has to be changed to its alleged Aboriginal name. Now, everyone knows Ayers Rock. Doesn't matter where you are on the planet, you probably know Ayers Rock. Well, you're not allowed to call it Ayers Rock anymore. You have to call it Uluru. Now, fair enough, the Aboriginals would have been around thousands of years ago, and they would have been walking through a flat desert, featureless, and they would have seen this monstrous pebble sticking out of the ground. And they might have thought it was religious, sacred, whatever they thought. Fair enough, they would have come to this massive rock in the middle of nowhere, and they would have given it a name. Fair enough. But Fraser Island, this massive sand island off the coast of Australia, separated by half a kilometre of fast flowing water, they've just given it an Aboriginal name. They say the Aboriginal name, the traditional Aboriginal name, the traditional Aboriginal name, when translated, means paradise. Now, if you go to Fraser Island, I've just come back from Fraser Island, it is pristine white beaches. It is fabulous tropical jungle, rainforests. Dotted throughout the island, there are springs that pump out, in some places, one in particular has 80,000 litres an hour pours out of these springs, and then they pour down and they go into the sea. The water is crystal clear. It's like you can hardly see this anywhere else on the planet anymore. To look down into a couple of metres of water and be able to see the individual sand grains on the bottom. It is incredible. It's beautiful, beautiful place. Trees that reach up into the sky. Jungle you couldn't walk through. It is stunning. Have I painted a good picture? There's one thing, Lake Mackenzie. Go to Lake Mackenzie. It's in a hollow. When I say it's an island, you probably can't get your head around how massive this island is. The sand has some sort of bacteria in it, and this bacteria, you'd say, how can you have these huge trees on a sand island? It's because there's a bacteria in the sand that's spread everywhere, and the plants feed off that. That's how you have thick vegetation everywhere, huge trees. In this valley, in the middle of this huge area, is Lake Mackenzie. I can't put words to Lake Mackenzie. The water is crystal clear. It's so deep and warm. The beaches around it. Have I painted the picture of paradise? Because it is an absolute paradise. You just can't see. It's World Heritage listed. There's not many places on the planet you can go and see something so pristine. It is paradise. But I want to run this by you. The traditional Aboriginal name was Paradise. Why would they have called that island Paradise when that island is exactly the same as what the land they lived on was anyway? There was no pollution. There was no white people to ruin things or vehicles. The land they were on, the beaches they were on mainland Australia, was exactly the same as the island. That's like me saying, my ancestors come from London, and it's like me saying, I live on the north side of the Thames, and I look across at the south side of the Thames, and I call that paradise. Why the hell would I call that paradise? And so why is the tradition, why would the Aboriginals in the past have called something that was identical to where they were living paradise? But that's not the end of it. There's half a kilometre of flowing seawater and crashing waves and rips dragging out to sea. Why would you have gone across that? Why indeed, when it's full of sharks? Man-eating, flesh-eating sharks and box jellyfish that have tendrils, that have tentacles, that are 30, 40, 50 feet long. You can be that far away from a box jellyfish and it gets its tentacles around you, and suddenly your heart stops beating and your lungs stop working and your chest muscles stop and you die from a box jellyfish. Or a rock stonefish, which is a fish with spikes, and if you step on it, that kills you too. So you've got, I just beg to ask, why would they have bothered to leave their current paradise to cross 500 metres of rushing seawater filled with dangerous creatures and gone to this massive island and then called it paradise? It's just ridiculous. But I might get into trouble for saying this, but it just, anyway, I don't know if I've explained that very well, but it's just like some things in the modern world, they just don't seem to make any sense, and you have to go along with it, otherwise you're branded as some sort of racist. We've got to leave it at that, I think. I better say no more. Make a comment. Click like. Possibly come and plant a burning cross in my front lawn. Oh no, that's the other guys that did that. Well. I think we'll call it a day. We've made a few videos. He's not been well. I don't know if you've seen that video, but he's done a great job because he's not been well.